My name is Nathaniel, and welcome back to the SleepStory Collective. It is good to have you here tonight. Perhaps the day has lasted longer than you expected. Perhaps it contained more decisions, more interruptions, more small responsibilities, and more unfinished thoughts than there seemed to be room for. Or perhaps nothing particularly difficult happened at all, and you are simply tired in the quiet, ordinary way that comes from having reached the end of another full day. However the evening has found you, you do not need to explain it here. You do not have to organize everything before you rest. You do not have to find the answer to every thought that has followed you into the room. For now, there is only the sound of my voice, the low and steady hush beneath it, and a story that will ask almost nothing of you. Wherever in the world you are listening tonight, whether your surroundings are already peaceful or still settling around you, you are warmly welcome here. There is no correct way to listen. You may follow every word. You may allow whole passages to drift past without holding on to them. You may picture the rooms clearly, or you may simply rest inside the rhythm of the sentences. The story will continue either way. It will not require anything from you. Begin by noticing where your body is supported. Notice the pillow beneath your head. Notice the surface beneath your shoulders, your back, your arms, and your legs. There is no need to adjust anything immediately. Only notice that for this moment, you are being held. Let the weight of your head settle by one small degree. Allow the muscles around your forehead to become smooth. Let the space between your eyebrows soften. Let your eyes rest without needing to look at anything. There is nowhere else they need to travel tonight. Let your jaw become loose. Allow your tongue to rest quietly. Let your shoulders lower away from your ears. They have carried enough. They do not need to remain prepared for the next request. Let your arms grow heavier. Let your hands become still. You do not need to hold, sort, write, carry, clean, reply, fix, or remember anything for the next little while. Your hands can simply rest. Take a slow breath in, not the deepest breath you have ever taken, only a comfortable one, and let it leave without effort. Take another gentle breath. Notice the slight pause before the breath turns and begins to move out again. Then let it go. One more breath, quiet and unhurried. And as you breathe out, imagine that the day is moving a little further away, not disappearing, not being dismissed, only stepping back from the edge of your attention. Let the softening continue down through your chest and stomach. Nothing needs to be held tightly there. Let the muscles around your ribs loosen. Allow the stomach to rise and fall naturally. There is no need to make the breath perform. Your body already knows what to do. It has carried you through every hour of the day. Now it may begin the quieter work of carrying you towards sleep. Let your hips become heavy. Let the muscles of your thighs release. Let your knees rest. Allow your lower legs to sink into whatever supports them. Let your ankles become easy. Let your feet grow warm and still. Even the smallest muscles of the toes may soften. From the top of your head to the soles of your feet, there is nothing you need to force. There is only permission. Permission to be less alert. Permission to be less useful. Permission to leave some things exactly as they are until morning. Sometimes the mind continues moving because it believes there is still something to prepare, something to put in order, something to check one final time, something that might be forgotten if attention loosens its grip. Tonight, you may lend that need for preparation to someone else. There is a restorer waiting in a quiet workshop. She has patient hands, a warm lamp, a careful list, and all the time she needs. She will straighten what needs straightening. She will close what needs closing. She will place every small thing where it belongs. While she prepares each room, you may rest. Stories like this often reach a tired listener because someone else quietly left a kind word or a small sign of appreciation, helping the story find the next person who needed it. And now there's no need to think about anything beyond the room we are entering. Imagine a narrow old street after the shops have closed. The buildings are made from pale stone and weathered brick. Their windows are dark except for one. Behind that single window, a low amber lamp glows above a wooden work table. A small brass sign hangs beside the door. The lettering is simple. Miniature houses restored, curtains repaired, furniture polished, rooms prepared. The street outside is quiet. A few leaves move along the pavement. The lamps cast soft circles of light against the walls. From somewhere far beyond the rooftops comes the low, continuous sound of the sleeping town. It is not silence. It is a deep and velvety hush, steady, unchanging, safe. Behind the workshop window stands a magnificent old dollhouse. It is nearly as tall as the woman who cares for it. Its painted front has been opened on two wide hinges, revealing 4 floors of miniature rooms. There are tiny bedrooms beneath the roof, a narrow landing, a library, a parlor, a dining room, a sewing room, a kitchen with copper pans, a tiled washroom, a small conservatory, a pantry, a music room, and a central staircase no wider than the restorer's hand. Each room contains beds, rugs, chairs, cabinets, lamps, framed pictures, curtains, books, clocks, china, baskets, and carefully made objects no larger than a thumbnail. The house has been restored throughout the day. Tonight, before the workshop closes, every room must be prepared for sleep. The restorer's name is Anwen Vale. She has cared for miniature houses for many years. She knows how to repair a staircase without loosening the wallpaper beside it. She knows how to mend a curtain with stitches so small that even a magnifying glass struggles to find them. She knows how to polish a wooden floor using a cloth wrapped around the end of one finger. Most importantly, she understands that a house, whatever its size, does not feel settled merely because it is clean. It must be gently closed for the night. The lamps must be lowered. The chairs must be placed back beneath their tables. The curtains must be drawn. The blankets must be smoothed. The doors must be left neither wide open nor tightly shut. And every room must be given a moment of stillness before the next one is prepared. Tonight's story is called The Dollhouse Rooms. The dollhouse has stood in Anwen's workshop for almost a month. When it first arrived, it was wrapped in linen sheets and carried carefully through the narrow doorway by two men from the local museum. Its paint had faded. Several windows had come loose. The roof tiles were dusty. One bedroom ceiling showed a pale watermark. The dining room table leaned slightly to one side. The staircase had lost two of its carved posts. A tiny kitchen drawer would not close. The curtains had become stiff with age. None of these things made the house unwanted. They simply meant that it had been lived beside for a very long time. It had once belonged to a woman named Beatrice Harrow, who had kept it in a quiet upstairs room throughout most of her life. The house had been built for her grandmother by a cabinet maker, who normally made full-sized wardrobes, desks, and bookcases. He had chosen the same woods he used for grand furniture: walnut for the stairs, oak for the kitchen, cherry wood for the dining room, a pale fruit wood for the bedrooms beneath the roof. Nothing had been made carelessly. Even the backs of the tiny drawers were fitted with dovetail joints. Even the undersides of the tables had been sanded smooth. Even the little doors had brass hinges and working catches. When Beatrice was older, she continued to care for the house, not as a child's toy, but as a collection of rooms that held the craftsmanship of several generations. She added a miniature sewing basket, a porcelain bowl, a brass reading lamp, a blue glass vase, a row of books made from leather and paper, a small silver clock that did not keep time, but always pointed to 20 minutes past 10. She replaced worn fabrics. She polished the staircase. She changed the tiny flowers in the conservatory with the seasons. And before she went to bed each night, she closed the curtains of the largest bedroom. It was a habit she kept for more than 60 years. Now the house is being prepared for display in a quiet gallery. Tomorrow, the museum will return for it. Tonight is Anwen's final evening with the rooms. She has completed the difficult repairs. The roof is secure. The windows sit straight. The stairs are firm. The papers have been cleaned without removing their soft age. The furniture has been repaired. Only the evening work remains, the small, repetitive, comforting work that Anwen likes best. She stands before the open house and turns on the narrow lamp fixed above her table. Its light falls over the rooms without becoming bright. She puts on a pair of thin cotton gloves. She places a wooden tray beside her. On the tray are several folded cloths, a miniature feather brush, a pair of blunt tweezers, a tiny silver spoon, a bottle of wood polish, a coil of pale thread, and a small dish of lavender-scented wax. There is also a notebook. Anwen opens it to the final page. Prepare all rooms for rest. She reads the lines slowly. Then she begins. The entrance hall is on the ground floor. Its floor is made from alternating squares of black and cream tile. A narrow table stands beside the front door. Above it hangs a mirror in a dark wooden frame. There is a stand for walking sticks and umbrellas, a little woven mat, and a row of 3 brass hooks fixed to the wall. The hall is no longer than Anwen's forearm, yet it carries the same feeling as the entrance to a full-sized home. It is the place where the outside world is set down. Anwen lifts the tiny mat using the blunt tweezers. She brushes beneath it with the miniature feather brush. There is almost no dust. Still, she works from one corner to the other. One small movement, then another, then another. She lays the mat back down and presses each corner flat. On the hall table sits a shallow dish. Inside it are 2 tiny keys and a bead of green glass made to resemble a polished stone. Anwen removes each object. She wipes the dish. She places the objects back in the same order. Key, key, green stone. The arrangement is simple. It is also exact. She polishes the mirror with a square of cotton wrapped around her smallest finger. The glass brightens. The reflection of the staircase appears within it. A narrow line of walnut, a pale wall, the edge of the front door. Nothing moves in the reflection. Nothing needs to. Anwen checks the brass hooks. From one hangs a miniature straw hat with a dark blue ribbon. From the second hangs a brown traveling cloak made from cloth thin enough to fold naturally at such a small scale. The third hook is empty. She straightens the hat. She smooths the cloak. Then she turns the tiny catch on the front door until it rests in its proper position. The house is not being locked against anything. It is simply being told that the day's arrivals are complete. Before moving on, Anwen pauses. She always pauses at the entrance hall. A house cannot settle if its threshold still feels busy. She rests one gloved fingertip on the edge of the miniature table. The low hush of the town continues beyond the workshop window. The lamp remains steady. The hall becomes still. Only then does she move to the staircase. The staircase rises through the center of the dollhouse. It has 27 steps from the entrance hall to the top landing. Each step is made from walnut. Each banister post is turned in a slightly different pattern. Some are round, some are fluted, some have tiny carved rings. The original cabinet maker had not made them identical. Anwen likes this. It makes the staircase feel built by a patient human hand, rather than stamped from a mold. She begins at the lowest step. With a soft cloth wrapped around the end of one finger, she polishes the tread from left to right. Then the second, then the third. The movement is so small that someone passing the workshop window might not notice it at all. But within the scale of the house, each stroke is broad and careful. Left to right, lift, move upward. Left to right, lift, move upward. The polish smells faintly of beeswax and cedar. Only a little is needed. Too much would gather in the corners. Anwen uses no more than a pinhead at a time. She warms it between her fingertips. She spreads it thinly over the wood. The walnut deepens from dull brown to soft honey. At the 7th step, she finds a strand of pale thread caught beneath the banister. She takes the tweezers and lifts it free. At the 12th, she notices a tiny mark in the wood. It is not damage, only an old indentation, perhaps made by a piece of miniature furniture being carried upstairs many years ago. She leaves it. Restoration does not mean removing every sign of time. Sometimes care means knowing what should remain. She continues upwards. 13, 14, 15. The staircase turns at a small square landing. A framed picture hangs on the wall there. It shows a painted valley beneath a pale evening sky. The frame is no larger than a postage stamp. Anwen straightens it by the width of a thread. Then she returns to the stairs. 16, 17, 18. As the cloth moves across each step, the staircase begins to catch the warm light. The curved banister forms one long, shining line through the center of the house. It leads from the settled entrance hall towards the waiting rooms above. 19, 20, 21. Nothing hurried, nothing missed. At the final step, Anwen polishes the small, round cap at the top of the banister. She checks the repaired posts. Both remain firm. Then she draws the cloth once along the full length of the rail, from top to bottom. One slow movement. A staircase ready for quiet footsteps that will never disturb the rooms. To the left of the entrance hall is the parlor. The walls are covered in faded green paper, printed with pale vines. A fireplace stands against the far wall. Inside it are tiny logs made from real twigs, cut, dried, and stacked beneath a brass grate. 2 armchairs face the hearth. A small circular table sits between them. On the table rests a closed book and a pair of wire spectacles. Anwen lifts the first armchair. Its upholstery is rose-colored velvet. The fabric has been brushed until the nap lies evenly. She checks the carved legs. All 4 are secure. She places the chair back at a slight angle towards the fire, not perfectly straight. A room becomes more welcoming when its chairs appear recently used. The second chair is covered in deep green cloth. A tiny cushion rests against its back. Anwen fluffs the cushion between finger and thumb. She turns it so its embroidered side faces outward. The embroidery is almost too small to see. A cream-colored moon, 3 silver stars, a narrow blue border. She polishes the table. She straightens the closed book. She folds the spectacles and places them beside it. The lenses catch the light. For a moment, they resemble 2 circles of still water. On the mantel stands a row of miniature objects. A brass clock, 2 porcelain dogs, a white candle in a silver holder, a framed oval portrait, a small jar filled with dried lavender. Anwen dusts each one. She begins with the clock. Its hands remain fixed at 20 minutes past 10. She has considered moving them. She decided not to. That was the time Beatrice had chosen. That was the time the house had known for many years. Tonight, as on every other night, it may remain 20 minutes past 10. She adjusts the porcelain dogs so they face slightly towards one another. She wipes the candle holder. She straightens the portrait. She touches the lavender jar very lightly. The scent is faint but still present, dry, soft, clean, familiar. The fireplace does not contain a real flame. Instead, Anwen places a tiny square of amber glass behind the stacked twigs. The workshop lamp shines through it. The hearth begins to glow. Not brightly, only enough to suggest warmth. She draws the green curtains halfway across the parlor window. The fabric falls in careful folds. One curtain catches against the sill. Anwen lifts it, smooths it, lets it fall again. This time, the hem hangs evenly. She checks the little rug between the chairs. She straightens its fringe with the tip of the feather brush. One side, then the other. The room now holds everything it needs. 2 chairs, a warm-looking hearth, a closed book, folded spectacles, lavender on the mantel, curtains resting at the window. Anwen places one fingertip against the edge of the parlor floor. She waits until the room feels complete. She never knows exactly how long this takes. Sometimes a few seconds, sometimes longer. Tonight, the parlor settles quickly. Perhaps it has been waiting all day for someone to close the book. Across the entrance hall lies the dining room. Its walls are warm cream above a dark wooden panel. A long table fills the center. 6 chairs stand around it. A narrow sideboard holds miniature plates and silverware. Above the table hangs a chandelier made from curved brass wire and tiny drops of glass. The dining table has already been repaired. When the house arrived, one leg was shorter than the others because its carved foot had broken away. Anwen had shaped a replacement from a piece of cherry wood. She had stained it slowly, layer by layer, until the new foot matched the old ones. Now the table stands level. It no longer rocks when touched. She begins with the chairs. The first is pushed too far beneath the table. She draws it back. The second is angled towards the wall. She turns it. The third is already in place. The fourth needs its seat cushion straightened. The fifth has a speck of dust on one arm. The sixth is left slightly away from the table, as though someone has only just risen from it. Anwen considers pushing the final chair in. She decides against it. A house need not look abandoned in order to rest. It may retain the quiet evidence of a day that has been lived. The table is set with 6 cream plates. Each plate has a narrow blue line around its rim. There are 6 folded napkins, 6 small tumblers, a silver serving dish, a glass bowl containing miniature wax fruit, 3 red apples, 2 yellow pears, a cluster of dark grapes. Anwen checks the arrangement. One pear has rolled against the side of the bowl. She returns it to the center. She turns the bunch of grapes so the stem is hidden. She places the serving dish exactly between the two middle plates. Beside each plate lies a knife and fork. They are no longer than the top joint of Anwen's finger. She uses the tweezers to align them. Knife, fork, plate, napkin, glass. Then the next setting. Knife, fork, plate, napkin, glass. The repetition becomes its own quiet rhythm. Nothing about it is urgent. No meal is about to be served. No guest is waiting. The table is simply being placed in order before the room sleeps. On the sideboard stands a blue and white jug. Anwen removes its lid. Inside, she finds a tiny paper flower that must have slipped there during the day's work. She smiles. The flower is cream with a painted gold center. She places it in the small vase beside the serving dish. It was not part of the original arrangement. It belongs there now. She polishes the sideboard handles. She closes the lower doors. She checks that the chandelier hangs straight. Then she lowers the room's light by placing a thin screen of amber paper behind the workshop lamp. The glass drops in the chandelier become warm and dim. The plates lose their shine. The dining room moves gently from readiness into rest. If the rooms are beginning to gather around you, and the day feels a little more distant than it did when we started, then you are exactly where you need to be. Subscribing to the Sleep Story Collective means another carefully prepared place will always be waiting whenever you need a softer end to the day. For now, the dining room is settled, and Anwen is moving quietly towards the kitchen. The kitchen is at the back of the ground floor. It is one of the oldest rooms in the house. Its walls are painted a faded shade of warm white. The floor is made from tiny red tiles. A black iron range stands beneath a narrow chimney. Copper pans hang from hooks. A wooden work table occupies the center. Shelves hold bowls, jars, plates, and small earthenware pots. The kitchen has no luxury in it. Everything has a purpose. The table is scarred from years of miniature use. The shelves are plain. The bowls do not match. One copper pan has a shallow dent. The handle of the largest spoon has darkened with age. Anwen finds the room deeply comforting. Useful rooms often are. She begins with the work table. A rolling pin lies across one corner. A small board rests beside it. On the board are 3 tiny loaves made from painted clay. Anwen turns the loaves so their scored tops face the room. She places the rolling pin parallel to the edge of the table. She wipes away a trace of polishing dust. Near the range stands a miniature kettle. Its lid opens. Its handle moves. Anwen lifts it with the tweezers. She checks the underside. She polishes the base. Then she returns it to the center of the stove. She straightens the pans on their hooks. Large, medium, small. Large, medium, small. Each one rests without touching the next. The copper glows softly beneath the lamp. On the shelves are 6 storage jars. Flour, sugar, tea, rice, oats, salt. The labels were handwritten many years ago with a brush no wider than a single hair. Anwen cleans the jars without touching the lettering. She removes each lid, checks the empty interior, replaces it. Flour, sugar, tea, rice, oats, salt. In the sink sits one small white cup. Anwen had placed it there earlier while repairing the shelf above. She takes it out, dries it with the corner of a cloth, puts it beside the other cups. A kitchen should not go to sleep with washing left undone, even imaginary washing, even one cup. She closes the range door. She checks the latch on the lower cupboard. She tucks a striped cloth over the handle of the work table drawer. The cloth is red and cream. It hangs unevenly. She folds it once, then again. Now both ends are level. Beside the kitchen lies the pantry. Its door is narrow and painted grey. Inside are shelves only 2 fingers deep. Baskets stand on the floor. A string of wax onions hangs from a peg. A row of miniature preserves catches the light. Red, amber, purple, gold. Anwen checks every jar. Not because anything is likely to be wrong, because checking is part of closing the house. Plum, apricot, blackberry, apple, red currant. Each jar receives the smallest turn so its label faces forward. She folds the cloth over the bread basket. She places the wax onions closer to the wall. She brushes the pantry floor. Then she draws the grey door almost closed. A finger's width remains open, enough for the room not to feel sealed, enough for the darkness inside to remain gentle. The kitchen is finished. The pantry is finished. The copper pans hang quietly. The white cup has been put away. The jars face forward. The bread basket is covered. The red is closed. Anwen moves to the next room. Beyond the kitchen is a small conservatory. It was added to the house many years after the other rooms. The frame is made from white painted wood. The roof panels are thin glass. The floor is patterned with tiny blue and white tiles. A wicker chair stands in one corner. 3 shelves hold miniature plants. Some of the plants are made from paper, some from silk, some from painted metal. There are ferns no larger than feathers. a red geranium, a pot of lavender, a climbing jasmine trained around a thin wire frame, a bowl of moss made from dyed wool, a miniature lemon tree bearing 4 yellow fruits. Anwen begins by brushing the glass roof. She works carefully along each panel. A trace of dust gathers on the feather brush. She taps it into a cloth, then continues. 1 pane, the next pane, the next. The glass clears. The reflection of the workshop lamp appears overhead like a small indoor moon. The conservatory becomes brighter without becoming exposed. Anwen turns the wicker chair towards the plants. She straightens its cream cushion. She places a tiny gardening book on the seat. The book is closed. Its cover shows a painted rose. The pots need attention. The geranium has shifted. She centers it on its saucer. 1 frond of the fern is bent. She eases it upwards. The jasmine has slipped from its wire. She guides it back through the loop. The miniature lemon tree stands in a blue ceramic pot. 3 of its fruits hang naturally. The 4th points towards the wall. Anwen rotates the pot slightly. Now all 4 lemons can be seen. A small watering can rests beneath the shelf. It is made from dull silver metal. Anwen polishes the handle. She places the spout towards the plants. Everything in the conservatory now appears ready for morning, although morning is still many hours away. She draws a thin blind across the glass roof. It is made from cream-colored linen. The linen softens the light. The plants become shapes rather than details. Fern, flower, vine, tree, chair, book. The conservatory does not need complete darkness. Plants are accustomed to moonlight. Anwen leaves the side window uncovered. Through it, from within the dollhouse, there would be a view of the workshop window and the sleeping street beyond. A view from one small, quiet world into another. On the first floor is the music room. A miniature square piano stands against the wall. Its case is made from dark rosewood. A round stool rests before it. A music stand holds a sheet printed with notes so tiny they resemble a trail of black seeds. A violin lies inside an open case on the window seat. Anwen cleans the piano first. She lifts the narrow keyboard cover. The keys beneath are real pieces of ivory-colored wood and ebony. They do not produce sound. Still, each one moves when pressed. She touches one white key with the tweezers. It lowers, returns. She touches the next, lowers, returns. The room remains silent. The silence feels complete rather than empty. She wipes the keys from left to right. White, black, white, white, black. The pattern continues. At the center, one key is slightly darker than the rest. Anwen leaves it. It has been touched more often. That is part of its history. She closes the keyboard cover. She polishes the top of the piano. She straightens the stool. Then she turns to the violin. The instrument is made from carved maple. Its strings are fine silver threads. Its bow rests in a groove beside it. Anwen checks that the threads are secure. She moves the bow so it lies parallel to the violin. Then she folds the red velvet cloth over both. She closes the case. The tiny brass catch clicks. It is the smallest sound in the workshop. Anwen hears it clearly. On the music stand, the page has begun to curl. Anwen lifts it, presses it between two smooth pieces of card, waits for a few moments, then returns it to the stand. The notes lie flat again. She lowers the lid of the piano. She closes the curtain at the window. She leaves the stool a little turned, as though the musician has risen gently and will return another evening. The music room is quiet now. The piano is closed. The violin is covered. The page is flat. No melody needs to continue. No unfinished phrase is waiting to be resolved. The final note has already faded. Across the landing is the library. It is lined with shelves from floor to ceiling. There are more than 200 miniature books. Some have leather covers. Some are wrapped in cloth. Some are simple blocks of wood painted to resemble rows of volumes. A rolling ladder rests against the tallest shelf. A desk stands beside the window. A green reading chair faces a small, tiled fireplace. The library took Anwen several days to clean. Each book had to be lifted separately. The shelves were brushed. Loose bindings were secured. Faded titles were recorded. Then every volume was returned to its original place. Tonight, she does not remove the books. She only checks the rows. On the third shelf, one book leans. She straightens it. On the fifth shelf, a red volume protrudes slightly. She presses it back. On the lowest shelf, a blue book lies flat beneath the others. That is where it has always been kept. She leaves it there. The rolling ladder has 4 narrow steps. Anwen checks its wheels. She moves it from the center of the shelf to the far right. Its brass rail slides smoothly. She leaves it beneath a section of books on gardens, weather, and birds. At the desk lies an open volume. Its pages contain tiny lines of ink. The words cannot be read without a strong magnifying lens. Anwen knows the book is a collection of poems. She has examined its title page, evening rooms and other quiet places. She places a ribbon between the open pages. The ribbon is dark green. She closes the book carefully. The cover makes no sound. Beside it rests a miniature fountain pen. Anwen caps it. She places it in the groove of a wooden pen tray. She squares the blotting paper. She closes the smallest drawer of the desk. The green reading chair has a woolen blanket folded across one arm. Anwen refolds it, first in half, then once more. She smooths the edge with one finger. The blanket is no larger than a handkerchief, but its weave is complete. Cream threads crossed with dark green, soft fringe at both ends. She places a cushion against the chair back. She turns the chair slightly towards the fireplace. Inside the grate are tiny pieces of blackened wood and a bead of deep red glass. Anwin positions the workshop light so the bead holds a faint glow. The library is now prepared. Books upright, volume closed, pen capped, blanket folded, chair facing warmth. Before drawing the curtains, Anwin looks at the narrow window. The glass reflects her own face. Calm eyes, hair pinned loosely at the back. The amber lamp behind her. For a moment, it appears that she is standing within the miniature library, a quiet keeper among the shelves. She draws the curtains. Her reflection disappears. The library belongs to itself again. Beside the library is the sewing room. It is smaller than the other first-floor rooms. Its wallpaper is pale blue. A work table stands beneath the window. Spools of thread line a narrow shelf. A dress form stands in one corner, wearing an unfinished cream-colored gown. A basket of fabric rests on the floor. This was Beatrice Harrow's favorite room in the house. Many of its objects had been made by her own hands. The curtains, the rugs, the little cushion covers, the sheets, the tablecloths, the tiny garments hanging inside the wardrobe. Anwin approaches the thread shelf. The spools are arranged by color: white, cream, gold, rose, blue, green, brown, black. One rose-colored spool has tipped onto its side. She stands it upright. A loose length of gold thread trails across the work table. Anwin gathers it. She winds it around an empty spool. Once, twice, again. The thread glints beneath the lamp. When the loose end is secure, she returns the spool to the shelf. On the table lies a miniature pair of scissors. The blades are blunt. The handles are shaped like two silver loops. Anwin closes them. She places them beside a pincushion. The pincushion is red velvet. 6 pins stand in it. She counts them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The unfinished gown on the dress form has a narrow skirt and long sleeves. One cuff remains unfastened. Anwin does not finish it. The gown is part of the room's history. It has remained unfinished for decades. There is no sadness in that. Not every beautiful thing needs a final stitch. She smooths the skirt. She straightens the collar. She turns the form slightly away from the window. The cream fabric takes on the color of the evening lamp. The basket on the floor contains scraps of cloth: floral cotton, blue silk, brown wool, a piece of striped linen. Anwin sorts them into a neater pile. Large pieces beneath, small pieces above. She tucks the edges inward so none trail over the basket. The sewing chair is pushed beneath the table. She draws it out by a fraction. The room appears more natural that way, as though work has paused, not ended, not abandoned, simply paused until another day. Anwen closes the little sewing box. She lowers its brass clasp. She brushes the tabletop. She draws the blue curtains. Then she leaves the room with the unfinished gown standing quietly in the corner, waiting without impatience. At the back of the first floor is a small washroom. Its floor is covered in pale grey tiles. A white enamel bath stands against one wall. A porcelain basin rests beneath a round mirror. A narrow cupboard holds folded towels. On the washstand are a blue glass bottle, a tiny comb, a cake of soap, and a white jug. Anwen begins with the towels. There are 4, 2 large, 2 small. She removes them from the cupboard. She unfolds each one, checks the edges, folds it again, first lengthways, then across, then once more. Large towel, fold, smooth, place. Second large towel, fold, smooth, place. Small towel, fold, smooth, place. Final towel, fold, smooth, place. The cupboard shelf is now orderly. The towels form 2 soft stacks. Anwen leaves a little space between them. Even miniature linens need room to breathe. She straightens the comb beside the soap. She turns the blue bottle so its label faces outward. The label is blank. Perhaps it once contained a word too small to survive. The jug is empty. She places it beside the basin. She moves the soap into the center of its dish. She polishes the taps. 2 tiny points of light appear. A robe hangs behind the door. It is made from pale pink cotton. Anwen runs one finger down the fabric. She ties the belt into a loose bow. The loops are equal. The ends hang straight. She draws a small blind across the washroom window. She checks the bath plug. She closes the cupboard. The room is cool, clean, and quiet. Ready for no one. Ready all the same. Anwen moves to the second floor. The staircase narrows here. The rooms beneath the roof are softer in color. The ceilings slope. The windows are smaller. The furniture is lighter. The air around them seems quieter, even though the dollhouse contains no air of its own. The first room is the guest bedroom. Its walls are covered in cream paper, printed with tiny blue flowers. A single bed stands beneath the sloping roof. Beside it is a white painted table with one drawer. A narrow wardrobe occupies the opposite wall. A braided rug lies beside the bed. The bed is already made, but Anwen remakes it each evening while the house is in her care. She removes the coverlet, folds it over her hand, lifts the pillow, straightens the sheet. The mattress is filled with cotton. It gives slightly beneath her finger. The sheet has come loose at one corner. She tucks it beneath the mattress using the blunt tweezers. One corner, then the next, then the third, then the fourth. She places the pillow at the head of the bed. It is no larger than 2 postage stamps. Its case is embroidered with a row of pale blue leaves. Anwen smooths it once, then again. She unfolds the coverlet. It is made from cream cotton, quilted into tiny squares. She lays it over the bed. The left side hangs lower. She adjusts it. Now both sides are even. At the foot of the bed, she places a folded blanket, soft blue wool, narrow cream border. The blanket is not needed in the warm workshop. It belongs there because a prepared bed should offer warmth before anyone asks for it. On the bedside table rests a lamp with a white shade. A book lies beside it. A tiny glass of water stands on a round tray. Anwen empties nothing and fills nothing. The glass is made from solid crystal. Its appearance is enough. She straightens the book. The title reads, "A Walk Through Quiet Gardens." She positions it so the cover can be seen from the bed. Then she opens the drawer. Inside is a folded handkerchief and a smooth grey stone. She closes the drawer gently. The wardrobe contains 2 wooden hangers. A blue dressing gown hangs from one. The second is empty. Anwen spaces them apart. She closes the wardrobe doors. At the window, the cream curtains have been tied back with blue ribbons. Anwen loosens the ribbons. She folds each tie and places it on the sill. Then she draws the curtains together. They meet in the center without overlapping. The guest bedroom now feels deeply still. The bed is smooth. The blanket is ready. The book is waiting. The water catches a faint point of light. The wardrobe is closed. The curtains are drawn. Anwen rests her hand beside the room. A guest, she thinks, should never wonder whether they are expected. The room itself should provide the answer. Clean linen, a warm blanket, a light beside the bed, a book within reach, an empty hanger, a little space made ready. The next bedroom is larger. This is the room whose curtains Beatrice Harrow closed every night. Its walls are pale rose. The bed has 4 carved posts and a narrow canopy. A dressing table stands beneath the window. 2 slippers rest side by side on the rug. A chest sits at the foot of the bed. The curtains around the bed are made from thin ivory fabric. During the restoration, Anwen washed them by hand. She placed them between layers of white cloth, pressed away the water, allowed them to dry flat, then rehung them using hooks no larger than grains of rice. Now she checks each panel. The first falls smoothly. The second has twisted around one post. She untwists it. The third is slightly longer than the others. It has always been so. The fourth is perfect. She draws the bed curtains back rather than closing them. The bed itself must be prepared first. The rose-colored coverlet is embroidered with cream flowers. Anwen lifts it away. Beneath are 2 sheets, 1 blanket, and 3 small pillows. She removes everything. She places the linens on her wooden tray. The mattress bears a shallow indentation at its center. It is not from use. It is where the cotton filling has settled over many years. Anwen presses it gently from the sides. The surface rises, not completely, enough. She spreads the first sheet, tucks it beneath the head of the mattress, smooths the center, tucks the foot, then each side. The second sheet follows. It is finer, almost translucent. Anwen turns the top edge down to form a narrow band. She adds the blanket, cream wool, soft rose stitching. She leaves the top loose enough to fold back. The coverlet comes last. Its embroidered flowers face upwards. Anwen centers the largest flower at the middle of the bed. She lets the sides fall naturally. The 3 pillows are different sizes: large at the back, medium in front, smallest at the center. The smallest pillow bears a single stitched word: rest. Anwen places it carefully. She does not need the magnifying lens to read it. She has read it many times. Rest. A small word, a complete instruction. On the dressing table are a hairbrush, a silver-backed mirror, 2 perfume bottles, and a shallow tray holding 3 pins. Anwen polishes the mirror. She places the hairbrush at an angle. She aligns the perfume bottles by height: tall, short. The slippers on the rug point in different directions. She turns them so they face the bed. Left, right, together. Inside the chest at the foot of the bed are folded blankets. Anwen opens the lid. She checks the top blanket. It is lavender-colored. Its corners remain square. She closes the chest. Now she returns to the bed curtains. One by one, she draws them partly closed. Not enough to hide the bed, enough to soften it. Ivory fabric falls between the carved posts. The embroidered coverlet becomes a muted rose shape within. Finally, Anwen turns to the window. The curtains are pale grey with a border of tiny cream stars. She lifts the left curtain from its tie, folds the tie, places it on the sill. She does the same with the right. Then she draws the curtains, slowly. This is the habit Beatrice kept for more than 60 years. Left towards the center, right towards the center. The 2 edges meet. Anwen waits. The room seems to lower its voice. The bed curtains are half drawn. The window curtains are closed. The slippers wait on the rug. The word rest lies at the center of the pillows. The largest bedroom is ready. Across the landing is a narrow room that once served as a morning room. It contains a writing desk, a couch, a small round table, and a cabinet filled with letters. The walls are painted the soft yellow of late afternoon. A striped rug covers most of the floor. Anwen begins with the couch. Its upholstery is pale grey. A long cushion rests against the back. 2 smaller cushions sit at either end. She straightens the long cushion. She turns the smaller ones so their seams face down. A folded shawl lies across the arm. It is made from blue silk. One corner trails onto the floor. Anwen lifts it. She folds the shawl into a soft rectangle. She places it on the seat. On the round table rests a tray with a miniature teapot and 1 cup. A second cup is stored in the cabinet. Anwen considers adding it. She decides the single cup suits the room. Solitude need not appear lonely. Sometimes one cup simply means that someone has been given an hour entirely to themselves. She turns the teapot so its spout faces the cup. She places the lid securely. She aligns the tray with the edge of the table. At the writing desk are 3 letters tied with cream ribbon. The letters are real folded pieces of paper. Each has an address written on its front. The ink is too small to read easily. Anwen does not untie them. Private things remain private, whatever their size. She places the letters inside the desk. She closes the lid. She leaves the key in the lock. The cabinet beside the wall holds many more letters. Some bundles are tied with blue ribbon, some with rose, some with plain string. Anwen checks that the glass doors are closed. She polishes the brass handles. She draws the yellow curtains. She straightens the striped rug. She places the shawl within easy reach of the couch. The room feels like a place where no one will interrupt. A room for reading 1 letter, drinking 1 cup of tea, watching 1 quiet hour become another. Beneath the roof is the smallest bedroom. Its ceiling slopes sharply. The bed fits beneath a round window. A narrow shelf holds 3 books and a wooden bird. There is no wardrobe, only a row of pegs with a folded robe and a small cloth bag. The room was added last. Beatrice called it the room beneath the eaves. She once wrote that it was the easiest room in the house to prepare because it contained only what was needed: a bed, a lamp, a few books, a view of the sky. Anwen likes it for the same reason. She dusts the round window. She polishes the wooden bird. She aligns the 3 books: green, brown, blue. The bed is narrow. Its cover is white with a dark blue border. Anwen lifts the cover, smooths the sheet, turns the pillow, replaces the cover. She folds the robe on its peg. She checks the cloth bag. It is empty. She leaves it hanging. The lamp beside the bed has a blue shade. Anwen turns it slightly towards the pillow. The room becomes warmer. She does not close the round window's curtain immediately. Outside the dollhouse window is the workshop. Beyond the workshop is the old street. Above the old street is the real night sky. The round pane reflects only the amber lamp. Still, Anwen imagines moonlight passing through it, a small circle of silver laid across the bed. She waits a little longer. Then she draws the tiny curtain. The fabric gathers to one side. The room beneath the eaves becomes enclosed and safe. Only the attic remains. A narrow ladder leads from the landing to a hatch in the roof. Anwen lifts the hatch. The attic is unfinished compared with the other rooms. Its rafters are visible, the floorboards are plain. Trunks, boxes, rolled rugs, picture frames, and covered pieces of furniture stand beneath the sloping roof. The attic does not need decoration. It holds the things a house is not ready to use and not ready to release. Winter blankets, old pictures, spare curtains, a broken chair awaiting repair, a cradle wrapped in linen, a box of tiny ornaments. Anwen checks the trunks. The largest is closed.
The second is closed. The smallest has been left open. Inside are folded lengths of wallpaper saved from earlier repairs. Green vines, blue flowers, cream stars, rose stripes. She lowers the lid. The brass catch is stiff. She presses it gently. It closes. One rolled rug has come loose. Anwen reties the cotton tape around it. She straightens the picture frames against the wall, largest at the back, smallest at the front. The covered cradle stands in the corner. Anwen smooths the linen sheet across it. She does not lift the covering. Whatever the attic protects beneath its cloth may continue to rest undisturbed. She moves the broken chair nearer to the workbox. Tomorrow it will travel to the museum with the house. Another restorer may mend it one day, or Anwen may be asked to do so. There is no need to solve that tonight. The attic window is no larger than a coin. It has no curtain. Anwen wipes the glass, then she closes the roof hatch. The hidden room settles above all the others. Trunks closed, rugs tied, pictures stacked, cradle covered, chair waiting without urgency. Anwen descends to the first floor, then the ground floor. She stands before the whole open house. Every room is visible at once. The entrance hall with its straightened hat and cloak, the parlor with its amber hearth, the dining room with 6 quiet place settings, the kitchen with its covered bread basket, the pantry with its jars facing forward, the conservatory beneath its linen blind, the music room with its closed piano, the library with its capped pen and folded blanket, the sewing room with its unfinished gown, the washroom with 4 towels in 2 neat stacks, the guest bedroom with its blue wool blanket, the rose bedroom with the word rest upon the bed, the morning room with 1 waiting cup, the room beneath the eaves with its round curtained window, the attic closed above them all. The house is nearly ready, but Anwen has one final round to make. She begins again at the bottom, not to repeat the work, only to allow each room to pass quietly into night. In the entrance hall, she lowers the lamp. The mirror dims. The green glass stone in the dish becomes dark. The keys remain visible. In the parlor, she moves the amber glass deeper behind the fireplace logs. The glow softens. The porcelain dogs cast 2 small shadows against the wall. In the dining room, she checks the cream flower in the vase. It remains upright. The single chair stands slightly away from the table. In the kitchen, she touches the range door, closed. She touches the pantry door, almost closed. She leaves it exactly so. In the conservatory, the lemon tree holds its 4 fruits beneath the softened light. The watering can waits beneath the shelf. The gardening book rests on the wicker chair. In the music room, the piano and violin are quiet. No instrument requires another check. In the library, Anwen lowers the green-shaded lamp. The chair, blanket, and closed book become one deep shape beside the hearth. In the sewing room, the gold thread is wound. The scissors are closed. The 6 pins remain in the cushion. The unfinished cuff may wait. In the washroom, the pink robe hangs behind the door.
Its bow remains even. The towels are folded. The taps no longer shine brightly. In the guest bedroom, the blue blanket is ready at the foot of the bed. The book lies beside the lamp. The empty hanger remains inside the wardrobe. A guest would know they were welcome. In the rose bedroom, the curtains meet over the window. The bed curtains fall softly between the posts. The little pillow says, "Rest." In the morning room, the shawl waits on the couch. The teapot faces the cup. The letters are safely inside the desk. In the room beneath the eaves, the 3 books stand together. The wooden bird faces the bed. The round window is covered. Above everything, the attic remains closed. Anwen returns to her work table. She removes her cotton gloves. She folds them once, places them beside the notebook. She reads the final line again. "Prepare all rooms for rest." Then she draws a small tick beside it. The work is complete. There is a particular stillness that arrives after careful preparation. It is different from emptiness, different from silence. It is the feeling of nothing more being required. The cloths have been folded. The tools have been returned to the tray. The polish is closed. The thread is wound. The feather brush has been cleaned. Every object in the workshop has come to rest. Anwen switches off the lamp above the work table. The dollhouse remains lit only by the low lamps placed behind its rooms. From the street, it appears as a house within a house. Small windows glowing inside the darkened workshop. A parlor lamp, a library lamp, a bedside light, a faint amber kitchen glow. One by one, Anwen lowers them. The dining room, the kitchen, the conservatory, the music room, the sewing room, the washroom. The first floor grows dark, then the guest bedroom, the morning room, the room beneath the eaves. Only the rose bedroom remains. Its light shines through the grey curtains with cream stars. Anwen looks at it for a few moments. She thinks of Beatrice closing those curtains each night, not because the miniature room needed darkness, because the ritual mattered, because care repeated over time becomes a kind of shelter. Anwen lowers the final light. The dollhouse is dark, not lost in darkness, resting within it. She takes hold of the 2 wide front panels. Each panel forms half of the house's painted exterior. Cream walls, tall windows, a dark green door. Climbing roses painted beside the lower windows. A slate-colored roof above. She closes the left panel slowly. The parlor disappears. The library disappears. The guest bedroom disappears. The small rooms remain exactly as they were, hidden safely behind the painted wall. She closes the right panel. The dining room disappears. The kitchen disappears. The rose bedroom disappears. The 2 halves meet at the center. Anwen turns the brass catches, one at the top, one at the center, one near the bottom. The house now appears complete from the outside. Its windows are dark. Its green front door is closed. Its painted roses climb quietly beneath the roof. No one passing the workshop would know how many prepared rooms rest inside. Anwen covers the house with a thin linen cloth. She begins at the roof, lets the fabric fall down the front, smooths it over the corners. The linen is not heavy. It does not hide the shape completely. The roofline remains visible. The chimneys form gentle peaks beneath the cloth. Tomorrow, the museum staff will arrive. They will wrap the house more securely. They will lift it onto a padded trolley. They will carry it through the workshop door. They will place it in a quiet gallery where visitors can look through its open front and see every restored room. But that belongs to tomorrow. Tonight, it remains with Anwen, closed, covered, prepared. She tidies the final corner of the workshop. She places the wooden tray inside a cabinet. She closes the notebook. She washes the small polished cloths in a white basin. She hangs them over a narrow rail to dry. She sweeps the floor beneath the work table. The brush moves slowly over the wooden boards. From the back of the room towards the door. From the window towards the center. From beneath the cabinet into the open space. There is very little to gather. A few threads, a curl of pale wood, a speck of dried wax, the smallest fragment of cream paper. Anwen empties the dust into a bin. She returns the brush to its hook. She wipes the basin. She turns off the water. The workshop clock shows 11:40. Its ticking is slow and familiar. The hands move without asking for attention. Anwen pours herself a small cup of warm milk from a flask. She sits in the wooden chair near the window. The covered dollhouse stands across from her. The street beyond the glass is almost empty. A single lamp shines on the pavement. The low hush of the town continues. She drinks slowly. There is no need to review the work again. The notebook is complete. The rooms are prepared. The catches are closed. The linen cover is secure. She allows herself to think about the house as it will appear tomorrow. Visitors will notice the grand staircase. They will admire the copper pans. They will lean close to see the books. They will point to the tiny lemons. They will smile at the slippers beside the bed. Some will move quickly. Some will remain for a long time. Some will be most interested in the furniture, some in the fabrics, some in the history of the cabinet maker, some in the woman who cared for the house for 60 years. Perhaps one visitor will notice the smallest pillow in the rose bedroom. Perhaps they will lean close enough to read its single embroidered word: rest. Anwen finishes the milk. She washes the cup. She dries it. She places it upside down beside the basin. Then she puts on her coat. It is dark blue and softly worn at the cuffs. She winds a grey scarf around her neck. She takes her keys from a shallow dish. Before leaving, she lifts one corner of the linen cloth covering the dollhouse. Only a little, just enough to see the painted green door. She checks the 3 brass catches: top, center, bottom, all secure. She lowers the cloth again, smooths the corner. "Good night, little rooms," she says. Her voice is quiet. The words do not sound foolish inside the workshop. They sound appropriate. She switches off the final lamp. The workshop becomes dark except for the streetlight outside. The covered house stands in the faint silver-grey glow. Still. Complete. Anwen steps through the door. She closes it behind her. She turns the key. The lock settles with a soft click. Outside, the night air is cool. The street stretches quietly in both directions. The buildings seem to lean towards one another beneath the dark sky. A few upstairs curtains glow. Most are already closed. Anwen places the keys in her coat pocket. She begins to walk home. Her footsteps are unhurried. She does not need to carry the house with her in her thoughts. She knows every room is ready. Behind her, within the locked workshop, the dollhouse rests beneath its linen cloth. Inside the closed panels, the entrance hall is quiet. The keys remain in their dish. The straw hat hangs from its brass hook. The traveling cloak lies smoothly against the wall. The staircase rises through the darkness. 27 polished steps, each banister post secure, the tiny landscape hanging straight at the turn. The parlor waits, with 2 chairs facing its unlit hearth. The spectacles are folded. The book is closed. The lavender rests inside its jar. The dining room contains 6 plates, 6 napkins, 6 glasses. The fruit remains in the bowl. The cream paper flower stands in the blue and white vase. The kitchen is clean. The white cup is put away. The kettle sits on the range. The copper pans hang in order: large, medium, small. The pantry door remains open by the width of a finger. Its jars face forward. The bread basket is covered. The string of onions hangs close to the wall. The conservatory rests beneath its linen blind. The fern is lifted. The jasmine is held within its wire. The 4 lemons hang from the little tree. The piano is closed. The violin is covered. The page lies flat on the music stand. No note waits to be played. The library holds its books. The pen is capped. The green ribbon marks the poem. The blanket lies folded across the chair. The sewing room holds the wound gold thread, the closed scissors, the 6 pins, the unfinished cream gown. Nothing there is incomplete in a troubling way. It is only waiting for another time. The washroom holds 4 folded towels, 2 large, 2 small. The pink robe hangs behind the door, with its belt tied in an even bow. The guest bedroom waits with clean sheets and a blue blanket. The book rests beside the lamp. The wardrobe contains an empty hanger, a little space kept ready. The rose bedroom is quiet behind its curtains. The slippers face the bed. The chest is closed. The embroidered flowers lie smooth across the coverlet. The small pillow rests between the others. Rest. The morning room holds one cup, one teapot, one folded shawl, 3 private letters within the closed desk. The room beneath the eaves contains a simple bed, 3 books, a wooden bird, a round window with its curtain drawn. The attic protects its trunks, its tied rugs, its stacked frames, its covered cradle, its chair awaiting repair. All these rooms exist together inside the quiet house. None is asking to be opened. None needs to be checked again. None requires another task. Perhaps your own mind can begin to feel like that house now. Not empty, not erased, still containing every thought, memory, responsibility, and unfinished thing that belongs to your life, but closed gently for the night. The important things have not been lost. They have only been placed in their rooms. The plans may rest in the study. The conversations may rest inside the closed desk. The work may rest in the sewing basket with the unfinished cuff. The things you cannot solve tonight may rest in the attic, covered, safe, waiting without urgency. You do not need to walk through those rooms again. The front panels are closed. The catches are secure. A soft cloth has been laid over the roof. Your thoughts may continue moving faintly behind the walls. That is all right. A sleeping house still settles. Wood cools. Fabric relaxes. Floorboards shift. Pipes become quiet. Nothing is wrong. Let your forehead remain smooth. Let your eyes become heavy. Let the jaw loosen. Let the shoulders sink. Let your arms be still. Let your hands rest. There is nothing left for them to arrange. Let your breathing become quieter. You do not need to deepen it. You do not need to count. Only allow it to move. In, out. In, out. The covered dollhouse remains inside the workshop. The workshop remains inside the sleeping street. The street remains beneath the wide night sky, and beneath everything is the same low, steady hush. Deep, soft, continuous. Anwen is walking home now. Her work is behind her. Her keys rest inside her pocket. The old street lamps guide her without needing to be bright. Soon she will reach her own small house. She will open the door, hang her coat, fold her scarf, place her keys in a dish, She will close the curtains, turn down the lamps, prepare a glass of water, straighten the cover on her own bed. Then she will lie down, knowing that every room she cared for is ready. The tiny beds are smooth, the little curtains are folded or drawn, the stairs are polished, the books are closed, the kitchen is clean, the attic is safe. Nothing more is needed. The museum may come tomorrow. Morning may open the workshop. The linen cloth may be lifted. The brass catches may be turned. Light may return to every room. But not yet. Tonight belongs to rest. You may leave the story here. You do not need to hear the final words clearly. You do not need to carry them with you. They will continue quietly without your attention. The house is closed. The rooms are still. The street is quiet. The restorer is safely on her way home. And you are allowed to let go. You can always return to these rooms whenever you need somewhere small, orderly, and warm. Subscribing to the SleepStory Collective keeps the workshop light ready for another gentle night. For now, the beds are prepared, the curtains are drawn, every room is safe. Good night. Good night.